all new from sunny 1450 and 1320.
And now it's time for Comfort is Cool with your host Angel and Mike. The weekly show covering topics related to your home cooling and heating system on sunny 1450 and 1320.
Welcome back, everyone. You're tuning in to Comfort is Cool. This is a call-in radio show about your heating and cooling system, sponsored by a local air conditioning company called And Cooling Services. I'm your host, Angel. We got Mike in the booth hosting with me today.
How are you doing?
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
We come here once a week on Tuesday mornings at 11 o'clock to 11:30 a.m. To our services. Give people some advice on what to look for and how to be more proactive about their air conditioning needs. You don't really get it how to maintain your home manual when you buy a new home.
You see for dummies book.
Yeah,
that you can get.
there isn't, and there's no real process on how to maintain the air conditioning system. You just have to be knowledgeable about the air conditioning system and know what it takes to maintain it. And it all comes down to training and understanding how the air conditioner works and how you can continue to improve the operations of it as the years go on, because this thing runs a lot. It runs an average of 3,200 hours a year if it's running efficiently. It could be more than that. It'll come on over 6,000 times in one cooling season, which means it gets a lot of usage. It's like taking the car out for a 60 or 70,000 mile run and not doing anything to it. It will not last you long.
Yeah, and like you said, there's no process as far as the manufacturer is concerned with, like this step has to be done, then this step has to be done, then this step has to be done. It just all has to be done.
Yeah.
And it's kind of up to the air conditioning company to choose which order they want things done in and how well they train
and whether they even want to do it or not.
Yeah, exactly. And whether they're holding their technicians accountable for it. One of the things that we do at And Cooling is we actually do have a process. Everybody every morning we go through a training and we figure out what we saw the day before and figure out ways to make ourselves better. We had a really good training this morning, getting into some solar power or stuff, but we always touch base and bring it back to the maintenance, because the maintenance is key. And if we're not doing our maintenance right, we're not doing our job right. And that's our job first and foremost, is to do the air conditioning.
If you don't do the maintenance on the air conditioner, it's impossible to direct the consumer in the right direction to maintain the longevity of the system and the efficiency on the system. So it's important to educate yourself. It's important to educate your employees as a contractor, and make sure that you stay in tune with all of the new technology and the accessories out there that help us close that gap between working and perfect for the homeowners out there, because they rely on us to make sure that we have all the information that they require in order for them to make logical decisions.
Exactly, and that changes overnight sometimes. I mean, I get in sometimes in the morning and I've got 3 or 4 different emails from Carrier, from Trane, doing this. Okay, this is what's coming out new, and this is something that we've just come out with.
Correct.
These are findings we just found.
Frigidaire
you really have to stay on top of it.
Yeah, Frigidaire has a pretty good deal on heat pump systems. We're getting into the cooling season. People are going to be using the heating portion of the air conditioner, and probably tonight there's supposed to be a cold front coming through. Hard to believe the media nowadays, unfortunately.
Yeah, especially the guesses. That's the job I want in my next life, being a forecaster.
But if they're correct, then we're going to get a cold front this evening, and we're going to feel it. And some people are going to be using their heating portion of the air conditioning system, and it's important that it's operating efficiently and it's operating well, so you're not inconvenienced in your house.
Yeah, because the last thing you want to do is when you go to turn it on, it doesn't work.
It doesn't work, and then you got to call somebody in the middle of the night.
And then that's the first night that it goes to get cut on, and then there's 700 other people that turn theirs on for the first time, and there you go.
Today we're going to talk about filters. We're going to talk about the number one job for the consumer as a homeowner. I'm just going to be blunt. It is completely 100% your responsibility as the homeowner to maintain the changing of the filter, or to find the correct filter that applies to your environment. If you have allergies, if you have health issues in the house, it's important that you spend a lot of attention on finding the right filter for you. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to buy the most expensive filter out there.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that people aren't
kind
clear
of a myth.
about.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those things, the Mythbusters show where they go on and they find these different things, and what people don't, it's like you said, each house is completely different. So what the perfect filter for my house is not going to be the perfect filter for your house.
Correct. Correct.
You know, and this, a lot of times, you know, you get information from different technicians that come in. Well, this guy used this filter and this guy told me to use that filter. There should be a reason. And it should be a very clear explanation. And if you're not 100% sure on it, then find out some more information, because, you know, a guy just comes in and says, oh, well, you want to use this one because it doesn't, you know, it doesn't restrict the air as much. Well, that's great. But if you have allergies and your air conditioner is full of biologic growth and mold and everything else, you want to cut down on some
Correct.
of those contaminants and things that are
Correct.
getting into the system.
Well, one of the things that I wanted to discuss with everybody, and this is going to be the tip of the week for them, this is a very good way of figuring out whether the filter you have purchased or the filter you're using right now is the best filter for you. And the easiest test to do to your filter is basically take it over the sink, the kitchen sink, and grab your regular salt shaker. And pour the salt over the filter on top of the sink.
Yep.
And then just maneuver the filter back and forth a little bit, and grains fall through the filter. If those grains fall through the filter, that is not a good filter for you to use.
No.
Okay, those grains are a lot bigger than the dust particles that become a food source for the environmental problems that can grow inside your air conditioning system. All the ingredients are there. There's a change of temperature. There's a change of dampness. It's cold and sweat. It's dark. All of the ingredients for it to grow environmental problems.
It's a perfect storm for bacteria growth.
Correct.
It really, really is.
The only thing lacking it is the food source, is the dirt, the particles, the human hair, the dead skin that fly through the air, that will stick to this coil, and that's where the environmental growth will start to grow and create an environment in your house that is unbearable eventually. If you have some respiratory issues in the house, that is the worst condition to live in, is having a dirty air conditioning system.
Yeah.
So it's important. If the salt falls through the filter,
Not
you have
good-
to find a
not
better
good
filter.
situation. And
Right.
the easiest way to explain too, or one of the ways that I always explained it, was that, you know, 92% of dust is supposed to be dead skin, pet dander, breathable bacteria and things like that. Now, unless you got sunburn and you're peeling off layers of skin, you're not going to see dead skin.
Yeah.
It's that small. And you figure it, you know, if you can take salt and pour through there, which is, you know, you can actually see and feel a grain of salt. You know, the dead skin that you're shedding, that your dogs are shedding, that all these, you know, your kids that come over, the friends that you don't like that much, you know, all the dead skin.
If you don't like them much, you shouldn't have them over.
Well, you like them enough, you know. Sometimes you got that neighbor that you got to keep them closer, you know.
I guess.
Keep your friends, was it friends close, your enemies closer? You know, like that.
I guess. I don't know. But it's important. This is important information that you should have. You should know exactly what you're requiring in order for the technician to be able to recommend something that is logical for you. For example, if you ask a technician a question about a filter and he doesn't ask you a numerous amount of questions to understand what your requirements are, and he just pushes this filter that he thinks is awesome because the company told him to push that filter, or
they're getting a spiff for selling that
filter.
one.
Yeah, because manufacturers do that too. If you sell their filters and you sell a certain amount of them, they will give you a spiff back on selling that product for them, which creates a relationship between them, and then they can sell it in bulk. That's not fair to you. You know, you can buy a cheap filter that doesn't let the grains of salts go through and have one of the biologic free or an ultraviolet system in your air conditioning system that actually works, and be in a good situation, in good predicament as far as indoor air quality. On the other hand, you can buy the same filter in an air conditioning system, and it's not as effective for that air conditioning system because of the way that it fits in there. There is no perfect fit filter that goes into the air conditioner, and there's no play around it. If there is a play around on the filter, if the filter doesn't fit snug, that's not the best filter to use, because air is going to get around that filter. And if air gets around that filter, that means dirt is going to get around that filter, and it's going to create the petri dish that we all are trying to prevent inside the air conditioning system. The best filter to buy, the best air conditioning filter to buy, is the one that comes with the air conditioner. That's a 5-inch thick filter. It's a media filter that you can attach to the air conditioner and actually seal it and keep air from going around the filter and filter 100% of the air. That's the best filter to buy. Are you in the market for that? Who knows? There's some people that are and some people that aren't. Is it long-term the best investment you can make for your air conditioning system? Yes.
Yeah.
Because it's going to keep the air conditioner clean, and it's going to cost you less on a yearly basis to change that filter, because you only change it once or maybe twice a year, depending on the amount of traffic that you have coming through the house.
Yeah.
And if you have a lot of pets or anything. But that 5-inch thick filter, you can stretch it out, and it'll stretch over 3 meters, because it has so much surface to
Yep.
catch some of this these particles that are going
and
through
it's,
there.
and it's a very, very soft material too. It's
Correct.
almost like a cotton and things like that. And just to clarify too, they come from the manufacturer. They don't come with your system. It's something that you have to order.
It's
and
an
you have to-
accessory.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And it's something that, that when your air conditioning guy comes in, you can ask him a question about it. It doesn't have to be installed at the time that they install the unit. Is it better to do it then? Yes, of course.
It's
So
going
that
to be
way- yeah.
more cost effective for
Yeah.
the homeowner.
Exactly. But let's say you have a system in your home that's been there for 2 years, you're not out on that. There's a lot of times that we can come in and we can add that in for you. And actually all the time we can make it happen.
Correct.
Sometimes it's easier than others. If you have a duct coming down right beside it in the garage, it's easy to kind of make that work. Or if we have to lift the whole air handler up, we can do that. Or if it's horizontal in the garage, there's different ways to make it happen. But these filters, if you've never looked into them, definitely do a little bit of research on them and look them up, because they're
Correct.
great filters. They filter down below what most Angel said, because they have so much surface area. You don't have to change them as much. It spreads the air out more evenly, and it distributes all that stuff.
Which makes it cost effective for you. Now you only have to change your filter maybe once a year. And if you don't have too much traffic, just you and the hubby living there, then it's maybe you can go even longer with that filter, which makes it a lot. And you can do the math for yourself. The average homeowner is spending between $10 and $15 a month on their filters if they're changing it on a regular basis. If you're not changing it on a regular basis, you're wasting that money in over usage of the energy that you're using, because the air conditioner is working that much harder on this dirty filter. So pay attention to that. That's important. You can't leave a dirty filter in the air conditioner. And I have this problem, man. I have a hard time changing my filter or remembering to change my
I got to
filter.
order new pads for mine, and I keep forgetting to do it too.
It happens. We understand.
We're human,
It happens. So it's important to put it somewhere. I remember my dad used to write it on his checkbook. So every time he wrote his bills to pay his bills, he remembered that he had to change his filter for the house. It's the little things that you can do to remind yourself that it needs to set a clock. Put it on the thermostat. Write a note on yourself in the fridge. Do something that will help you be proactive about changing your filter. If you don't change your filter and you restrict the airflow, you're going to have to replace your blower motor at one point or another. If the system goes out of warranty, you've already shot yourself in the foot then, because the blower motor is going to cost you as much as 5 or 6 years worth of air conditioning filters.
Yep.
And
that you're going to restrict the airflow going through the coil, so the coil is going to be oversaturated. You're going to cause excessive corrosion and damage to the coil. Your compressor is not going to be able to function properly because the air is not coming across the coil properly. So that's not functioning the way that it should.
Yeah,
it's just bad all around. I know one of the things that you were talking about, that right at the top of the checkbook, a lot of people will set it up to where, okay, when I write the check for the power bill, or when I go online to pay the power bill, change the filter every time. So, and obviously
the little things that you can do to remind yourself to be proactive about this, because if you don't do it efficiently or on a regular basis, it's going to cost you extra money, whether you see the extra costs or not, and you just fit it into the budget and pay the electric bill. It's not very cost effective. You're shooting yourself in the foot, and on top of that, you're causing issues for the air conditioner. A very good analogy that I love to use is comparing the air conditioner to the human body. You have the air conditioner has a heart, the compressor. The air conditioner has lungs, the coils of the air conditioner. The air conditioner has veins and arteries, which is the duct system. So all of these things need to be free of flow in order for this to work properly. And if you don't do this, if you don't change that filter, what's going to happen to your heart? You're going to increase the heart rate. It's going to work harder. because your lungs are dirty from smoking or eating junk food all the time. All of these things will affect your air conditioning or your heart, and it will eventually fail. And in the meantime, it's going to cost you extra on your energy bills. So our special this week that we do every week, but our special this week, since we're talking about filters, I'm giving away for the first 3 callers that call us today a set of Orange Tech filters. Those
That's
are
the ones I have in my
those
house.
are the ones you have in your house. They're
Yep.
very popular nowadays, and what they are is basically a good filter where the salt grains will not fall through them. It doesn't restrict as much airflow. It's not a paper filter.
Yep.
It's a cotton-based filter that has a sticky side.
Yeah.
The orange side of the filter is a sticky side that attracts the dirt as the air goes across it.
And they work, man. The one thing I can tell you, I actually have these filters in my home. And the
Works
reason
beautiful.
I got them is because, I only have two filters in my home because of the way that my air conditioner is set up, and I can't run and return into a back bedroom. So I need to get the maximum amount of airflow out of those in there. But I also have a fiance who has allergies and things like that. So I have 2 ultraviolet lights inside of my unit. But at the same time, I want to keep that unit clean so that it doesn't have that buildup. The only thing the ultraviolet has to deal with is any growth or things that get through the filters. But it's like a cotton-based filter, like you said. And what they do is they spray. It's the only way I can think of. It's like an orange glue that they kind of spray all over the back of it.
It's sticky too.
It's
You can
sticky.
feel it.
Yeah, it's sticky. That's why we call them orange tack, because they're orange and they're tacky on the back side of them. And what that does is all your particles that don't get caught in the first part of it, where the cottony material is, it gets stuck essentially to the orange stuff.
Yep.
And they work great. They flow great. They pick up a lot of dirt and dust. They can be individually sized for any size that you need.
That's the perfect part
Yeah.
about this filter, is that it's custom to your system.
Yep.
You don't just go out to the store and buy it. No, we have to customly order it to whatever situation that we have, depending on the size of the air conditioner, or whether you have a filter back grill in the ceiling and you're changing your filter at the ceiling. So it's customly made for the environment and for what you do, and it works great. It works great.
Yep.
It's I'm not saying it's the best filter out there. I'm just saying for what it costs, it's very effective for it,
Yep.
especially if you're on top of it.
Mhm.
It's a great product. It's a lot better than, or in my opinion, it's a lot better than the electrostatic filters that you have to wash. Here's the thing about
Yeah,
the
I'm not a
electrostatic
fan of
filters that you have. They're good filters. It's a good product, but you should change it every 3 or 4 years. Here's the reason why. Most people don't clean them properly.
Yep.
Okay, it's not that the product is garbage, it's the fact that the people are not maintaining them properly. As consumers, we forget to clean them. And when you do remember to clean them, you're in a rush or you don't have really
Spray it
time.
off with a
You
water
just kind of
hose.
spray it off with the water hose. You're not spraying it properly through the filter, pushing the dirt out. You're just kind of spraying it down and pushing the dirt down, and the stuff, the small particles, you're hiding in between those screens and those filters. So eventually,
Yeah,
that
and those-
filter becomes clogged.
Exactly. And those filters, what they are is it's about 3/4 of an inch to almost an inch thick of
Yep.
different layers
Correct.
of material.
Correct.
And the fact that the different layers are in there, it basically, that's how it filters, because there's big holes in each one of them. But when you put 30 or 40 layers in there, but the problem is that when you're not washing them and you're not getting the growth out of them, because once again, it's dead skin, pet dander, and things like that get sucked into these things. It gets halfway into that filter, and then all of a sudden it just starts growing. And if you're not doing anything about it, as far as, treating, what I would tell people to do is I would spray it down with like an antibacterial, let it sit for a little while, just let it sit for 5-10 minutes, then spray it out with a water hose, and then spray it again. Let it kind of soak in again, and then
Yes.
wash it out again. It's quite a bit of
Against
work.
the
And most
airstream
people-
too. You have
yeah.
to do it against the airstream.
Yep.
You can't push it through the filter and try to get it out on the other side.
Mhm.
If your filter's sitting in there and you got a lot of dust caught on one side, then you have to spray it from the opposite side back out so the dust can fall off of it. You don't want to try to push it through the filter and get it out on the other side. So it's important that you do that. But if you're interested in the 1 year's worth of Orange Tech filters, I'm giving away 3 sets of them, 1 year's worth. If you call us today here at the office at 941-926 6969. That's 941-926-6969. That's a value of $271. We're giving them away for free. If you called us and said you heard us on the radio, 3 sets of orange tech filters. That also includes the full maintenance on the system. Correct. We'll come out and maintain your air conditioner. We have to get the size that you need, because it's custom made for your situation.
Exactly.
So we'll come out, we'll measure it, we'll make sure that we have the correct size, and we'll do the full maintenance on the air conditioner and give you a good, clean bill of health if your air conditioner requires shows it. And on top of that, you'll get the no breakdown guarantee, which is our guarantee that we're going to come out there and do a great job for you. And if the air conditioner breaks, if we tell you the air conditioner is working perfectly and it breaks within the next 6 months before your next visit, we will come out and fix it at no charge to you.
Yep.
That's the no breakdown guarantee that we offer to all of our customers, no matter who it is. If you have maintenance done with our company, we will guarantee the service that we provide. If you need to have recommendations made or repairs made to the air conditioner, you will get a full list of how to do it and how to prioritize to make sure that you fit it into the budget. You don't have to take care of things right away on an emergency
or when
purpose.
they break.
Or when they break. It's important to be proactive with air conditioning, because the efficiency of the air conditioner it is determined on how you maintain it.
It's 100% maintenance.
Not only the filters, but making sure that you pay attention to the technician and make sure that he's cleaning those lungs, those coils out for you, and taking those readings on those capacitors and contactors. The capacitor alone, if you let a capacitor go below what the manufacturer recommends it goes, you're going to affect the other bigger components in the air conditioning system. It's a running capacitor because it provides the power to the component while it's running, instead of using power from the house. It regulates it for you.
Yep.
So when it's not regulating it properly, or the battery is low on it,
more power,
it's going to draw more power. It's going to blow. People have experienced this in the past. So that's a very common service call. You go out there and the capacitor's blown.
Yep.
Why is the capacitor blown? Because you failed to replace it when it was supposed to be replaced, which is when it reads below the manufacturer standards, and it says it right on the capacitor. The readings are right on there, so you can't really lie to nobody about
exactly.
it.
And that's important too, because a lot of people don't know that this information is written right on it, and somebody says, "Oh, I've got a bad capacitor." Okay, well, I guess I have to replace it. Make sure that the technician, whatever company you're going, obviously we would love for you to use us. And one of the things that we do is that we have the capacitor there. We're going to bring you out. We're going to show you what the capacitor reads. We're going to read the capacitor right in front of you and let you see for yourself on the gauge what it's showing.
Correct.
If it's good, then it's good. If it's bad, it needs to be replaced, or whatever it is, you'll see for yourself. And that's what any good air conditioning company should do. Don't let someone just walk into your house and say, "Yeah, your capacitor is bad, you need to replace it."
No, they have
Make
to
them
explain.
prove it.
Yeah, they have to explain why would they recommend that and why it's important. And the reason we're talking about this is because filter effect.
Yep.
If you run an air conditioner with a dirty filter, those little parts that are wear and tear parts that you'll eventually have to replace multiple times throughout the life of the air will get worsened. You will speed up the process of having to replace those parts. You will speed up the process of the motor getting a lot of strain on it and generating a lot of heat, and eventually burning up the bearings in the motor.
Exactly.
and the compressor as well. And on top of that, you're going to have too much humidity in the house. The air conditioner is not working efficiently.
Exactly.
So more sweat on the coil, more rust, more reasons and probabilities for your air conditioning system to leak refrigerant.
And like you said, and then getting back to the filters, with the filter, if it takes, I believe it's 1/20th of an inch of buildup on the coil.
Correct. Yep.
Will reduce that coil's efficiency by 40%.
Yep.
1/20th of an inch. That's pretty freaking small.
Yep. That's very small.
Yeah, and it's like I said, a lot of times when you're looking at it, most people don't pull the filter out and look inside. Half the time you can't even look inside of it without a special mirror or something like that, because of the way they're installed. So it's when your filter's not doing its job, it's going to get this coil all covered in growth and things like that. And it's very important. And I was just thinking about a particular customer's home that I was at, and the unit was in the closet, and they had one of the doors that has like the louvers in it, and it basically, when you opened it up, the filter was just kind of sitting inside of there. There was no frame for it, and they had kind of like taken and like put a stick on one side of it, to kind of hold it in there. If you got something like that going on, you're destroying your air conditioner. You know, it literally, you know, it doesn't seem like it's much. Oh, it's catching a lot of the. Well, when I pulled that thing out and looked at the bottom of that coil, which we always find, if there's any kind of a gap around the filter itself, you're sucking in a lot of dirt,
Correct.
a lot of dust, a lot of pure, you know, bacteria and everything else is getting right into your coil. And you may think, let's say you're only catching 80% of it. There's 20% of just free dust, free air, and everything else going into that coil, and that coil is going to have to be pulled and cleaned, which is going to be hundreds and hundreds of dollars. You know, that you don't necessarily need to spend, not to mention the amount of power that it's wasting, the amount of growth that it's developing, all that stuff. So take advantage of the special that we're running today and have us come out. We'll come out and custom make a grill for you.
Three 1 year's worth of Orange Tech filters. You get 12 cartridges or 11 cartridges with the frame and everything, and all you have to do is change it once a month. It's very simple. Doesn't take much time. You take the filter out, pull the pad out, put the new pad in, put the filter back in, and you're done. It'll take you less than 2 minutes to protect your environment, to have good airflow in the house, to have clean air in the house, and to protect your air conditioning system. If you don't take the necessary steps to prevent issues in the house,
There's
it's going to
be
cost
issues
you
in the house.
yeah, it's going to cost you money, extra money, and on
Yep.
top of that, you'll have to fix and react to these issues that you've ignored. So it's important to be proactive. I'm giving away 1 year's worth of Orange Tech filters. Call me at the office. The first 3 people that call me will get these filters, and on top of that, we will come out and do the inspection for you. 941-926-6969. That's 941-926-6969. I'm going to give that number out one more time. 941-926-6969. A lot of different products out there, guys. Do your research. Understand you have electrostatic filters. You have electronic filters who are also good.
Electronic filters are amazing.
They're amazing because they're expensive. Yes, you pay a little bit more up front, but in the long run, it will save you money. You know, there's a lot of people that smoke in the house. They smoke in their house, and that affects the air conditioning system. That tar, that nicotine tar, sticks to the walls of the air conditioner. The coil sticks to the blower. It creates more weight and more stress on the air conditioning system, and it eventually make you sick too, and will kill the air conditioner. Period.
Yep.
Okay. These electrostatic filters they generate an electric charge that will make that smoke disappear.
Yep, and
It's
there's-
amazing.
And they use these carbon
It's
sheets
amazing.
inside of them that
Correct.
attract it. So we actually at our home shows when we go to those, which we've got a couple of them coming up this
And
month. We just had one.
And I'll put up the video. I'm going to put up the video on our social media about how this works, because we have an actual smoke box where we can fill it up with smoke and then show you how this this filter. I mean, it just makes the smoke disappear in this little box.
Yep.
It's amazing how this works. Again, a little bit more expensive. You know, you have to be in the market for it, but long term, it's going to save you a lot more money.
Especially if you have health issues
Correct.
and things like that, and you need
Or
to
you
clean
can't
this air.
get on the ladder
You're
to change
breathing
your filter.
oxygen.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, different reasons for having one of these filters, and there's a lot of people out there that can benefit from them, so it's important. Give us a call. Again, we're giving away 3 sets of 1 year's worth of Orange Tech filters. 941-926-6969. That's 941-926-6969. It's been a great show, guys. We love for everybody that's been listening to us for the past year. We'll be back next week here, same time, same channel, same day, Tuesday.
We got a
11 to
viewer on
11:30.
we got a couple of viewers on our Google thing. So
Perfect.
we're
So
gonna wait.
thank you very much for listening. It's been a great show. You've been listening to Ann Cooling on the new Sunny 1450 and 1320. Were they